folks, this is all the fruit, and in the city of Valencia in Spain I found those unusual apricots. They are in different markets and fruit shops right now around the middle of April, and the guy who sold them to me simply told me they are albaricoque valenciano, which means Valencian apricot. Well, when I googled Valencian apricot, there seems to be an apricot variety called Galbaroya or Galtaroya, something like this, which seems to be Galta Rioja. Let's try at least and pronounce this stuff. It seems to be the most common variety in Spain, but the description and the photos are very different from this one. Then there is another one, Riojo Carlet, which looks a little bit similar but a lot more red. Riojo means red, and this thing is definitely not red. It's quite pale, but okay, we are mid-April. It's still quite early for apricot season in Europe. Yeah, the Spanish Mediterranean coast is somewhat the mildest and hottest areas in Europe, but still. So those things were sold definitely underripe, which is not an unusual thing for fruits nowadays. And I had big hopes for those things because, for example, in Turkey, there is the variety Şekerpare, which some people think is a wild apricot. It's not, it's a variety, which is very small and pale, smaller and paler than this, sold sometimes when it's half green, but it's very sweet while it's still half ripe. And when it gets totally ripe, it gets kind of boring and mealy, so you must eat it half ripe to get the maximum sweetness. I hoped for something similar here. I tried one of those apricots and I was a bit disappointed. But first let's look at them. Well, yellowish, amberish flesh, a little bit of a pink flush. A lot of them seem kind of a little bit flattish, depressed. Not every apricot species can stand on its tip. Not every apricot variety can stand on its tip, but most of those can. Almost look like there's been some peach or something bred into them. Funny thing is that this one opened on itself, like even the seed opened. I don't know why. Could be a sign that it is already ripe and trying to germinate. There is a small root coming out of the seed. So yeah, looking strange and unusual. They were of course quite expensive. That's normal for strange and unusual fruits, and this was kind of a touristy market. Now let's try them. They looked a bit more yellow. I carried them around a lot in my backpack. Now they're a bit bruised, so the color is a bit deeper. This one is actually not bad. Mild sweetness, almost no sourness. A distinct apricot flavor. I wouldn't say it's a great apricot, but for April it's not bad. Now let's try this one. Yeah, the sweetness is dominating. There's a bit of sourness that gives it a nice balance. Yeah, not a bad apricot for April. Now I'm gonna try the seed. Don't eat apricot seeds, folks. I got a strike by YouTube for claiming that oriental apricot seeds are edible. Yeah. Hundreds of millions of people in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East eat apricot seeds on a regular basis, but YouTube decided that I'm promoting poison, and so I got a strike on my video. Not a copyright strike, but a much more severe one. Well, so don't eat apricot seeds. Apricot seeds in the West are bitter. In the East, they are usually sweet. The bitterness comes from cyanides, and yeah, you shouldn't eat things with cyanide, despite the fact that even in the West bitter almonds are being used. So why is all the world allowed to use bitter almonds, but which contain a deadly amount of cyanide if you do the recipe wrong, but I'm not allowed to promote cyanide-free or almost cyanide-free non-bitter apricot seeds from the East. I don't know. I will try those because I want to know if there is some Eastern genotype in here. No, they are bitter. So there is cyanide in there, and you should not eat them. They are not very bitter, but still, don't eat them. It's a mild bitterness, so maybe there is some Eastern genotype. In the East, usually people breed apricots so that the seeds are sweet, because in the East we eat the apricot twice. First we eat the flesh, then later we crack the stone and eat the seed. But apparently, despite, as I said, hundreds of millions of people having done this for hundreds, probably thousands of years, YouTube decided that edible apricot seeds don't exist. Yeah. So what can I say? Yeah, my first impression was pretty bad. Let's see, here is one. Yeah. This is still not ripe enough. Okay. So it's nothing unusual for underripe fruits to be sold, but the ones which are more ripe, yeah, they're quite good, especially for April. In June, July, I would consider such apricots of inferior quality, but for April they are quite good. Yeah, if you find Valencia apricots, try them. They are not bad. Tell me what variety this could be, because the varieties I found as Valencia apricots are definitely not the same thing as this here. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich city of Valencia. And if you want to receive more such content, it's not enough to just subscribe to my channel, because YouTube, I wonder why, kinda stopped recommending my videos. So you should rather press the little bell icon to be notified. YouTube stopped recommending my videos even to my subscribers, to most of them. So press the little bell icon to be notified of new uploads.